This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Carbonite. Coming up, this war film stars actual Navy SEALs based on real-life events. Today we're talking about Act of Valor.
All right, I'm here again with Germain Lussier from Slash Film. Dan and Jeff have bounced, and we just went and saw Act of Valor,
That's right.
Which you may have seen trailers for. They're sort of all over the place, but Act of Valor is a movie about Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the movie Navy SEAls, except it actually has active duty Navy SEAls portraying the active duty Navy SEAls.
Yeah, no Charlie Sheen.
No Charlie Sheen.
No.
No guy from Aliens whose name escapes me, Michael Bean.
No, that's the other one. I was
that's
gonna
the
say
other
Tom
one, yeah,
Berenger, but that's Sniper, so later.
Yeah. So Act of Valor, a Navy SEAL war movie,
Yeah,
you know?
Navy SEAL war action movie.
War action movie. You know, the active duty Navy SEALs do a little acting.
No, they try.
They try. Well, what did you think overall of the movie?
I kind of liked Act of Valor. I think it's two movies, really.
Okay.
I mean, I think it is. If it was actors, it would have been an okay action movie where the action is a little repetitive and it tries to evoke video games a little too much.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. The story is fun.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Yeah.
But then you say that it's cast with, real life Navy SEALs.
Who do this as a job.
Who do this as a job and actually this is based on actual acts of valor. And you're like, oh, okay, well it gives this whole air of this means more than it actually is.
Yeah.
And it almost makes some of the misgivings as a movie forgivable.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a cheat or what, but I mean, it makes it an interesting movie to talk about.
Yeah, I will say this is the best video game adaptation movie I've ever seen. This is like watching Call of Duty the movie or Ghost Recon the movie. You get the sort of and it's funny that you say it that way because when in Doom, the big thing in Doom the movie was when they picked up the guns, you would see sort of POV of the gun. And it was so lame in Doom. But yet here, because you know that these are actually people who have been in this type of situation and are just going through the motions of this is what I do for my job.
Yeah.
When that gun comes up every once in a while, and it doesn't happen all the time, but enough that it's apparent.
Yeah.
You're like, man, it's surprisingly immersive, and I totally agree with you. I think you put just actors.
Charlie
no-name
Sheen
actors,
and Michael Biehn.
Yeah, or even no-name actors in these roles, and you go, it's an okay movie.
Yeah.
But because it's these active duty Navy SEALs, and I'll tell you, man, there were definitely moments in this movie where I was like, fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Bam! You know what I mean? The boats coming around when they're getting out of that first situation, and they come in and
over
just
the top, and it's just like,
oh my god! I mean,
it's
I was
really
literally,
cool.
it was like, go America! You know what I mean?
But then it's like, and then it's the two guys, and they're like, well, if you don't get home today, well, I hope your wife would be, and you're like, come on, get back to it. And I don't know, and you know what? You're totally right about the POV stuff.
Yeah.
But I felt like after they did it a bunch of times, and I'm like, we're really going to make them if you were going to make a modern warfare movie, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you try to make it a little more realistic and not evoke video games? Because do you really want to equate video games to actual war?
Yeah, right.
And so that's why I was like, I don't know, I think the directors was a little bit misleading.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's almost forgivable because these guys really have done things like that.
Yeah.
And it gives the movie some street cred.
And it really does bring home sort of what these guys have to go through at the elite level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is Navy SEALs. It's no joke.
There's a lot of moments where I was sort of surprised that I got swept in. Early, I think the sort of, first-time actor stuff really, you feel it.
It takes about a half hour to get going.
Yeah, and by the end, I'm kind of like, I'm in, there's a lot of different scenes that actually have a lot of emotion. I found myself really enthralled with the stories and really loving these characters.
Yeah,
it's
they do enough character development, even though the acting isn't that good.
Yeah.
to make you feel something for the action in the film.
And I wanted to know if the older guy with the beard, if he was an active duty Navy SEAL or not.
Yeah,
because at first it seemed like he was, but then there's this amazing pseudo-interrogation scene in the middle.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't seem, because when you see interrogation scenes, you think, oh, we just did a Safe House last time we did here.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, boarding immediately. He sits down, he's chatting with him. He looks like the guy who played Presbo in The Wire.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, Presbo? It was not Presbo. But yeah, and that was a great scene.
Because if that guy is an active duty Navy SEAL, is not an actor, he should be an actor because that was the best scene, acting-wise, in the whole movie.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what else was interesting? I remember, speaking of acting scenes, they give you a little bit of stuff with the villains too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I guess it works okay. So do we really need to know their cause? Do we really need to see them struggle?
Yeah.
Again, an odd choice.
Well, I think if it was sort of a short that they made that was like, look, this is what Navy people do, I would get not having that in. But I think that they really were sort of like, we're going to do the Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
We're just, I mean, literally, it's Haywire with Navy SEAL people instead of an MMA chick. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and I think it works really, really well because of the fact that the Navy SEALs are in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And the movie obviously has a dedication, and it really tries to pull its weight as more than just a movie. Yeah, and I think that balanced with the fact that it's not actually a great movie. It's an okay movie. Yeah, balances out. It makes it something you definitely is worth seeing.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth seeing. I mean, and if you know anybody that's in military service, if you related to anybody that's in military service, I mean, this is a must-see in that situation.
I walked out, and I was in the bathroom, and I was just like, that guy could be a Navy SEAL. Like, man, I want to shake his hand. You know, like, it gives you like a new kind of respect, because you always say, you know, we honor the troops, and obviously you mean that, but you see this, and it gives you a different level just to see it, because you never get to see on the ground the shit they might have to go through. You know?
This is actually seeing what happens instead of watching the CNN recap of like the little guys like football, you know, Sunday football of like, and then two people went in the front door and then they encountered two people. It's like, this is really what those things are like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And especially on the heels of the sort of, you know, with Osama bin Laden and SEAL Team 6, I think
this is SEAL Team 7.
This is SEAL Team 7.
I don't know if it's actually SEAL Team 7, but that's what they called them.
I have a feeling it's not, but it's like SEALs from every different thing. So this, and one of the things is, you know, the directors of these guys, they go by the Bandito brothers. They're a commercial directing team. And I can't remember, Scott something and Mouse McKay. And they, but Michael put it up.
Yeah, there it is.
But they have recently done all of the Navy and Army commercials, and they were doing a documentary on the Navy SEALs, and they were like, hey man, we're basically shooting an action movie here, but you're just training.
Yeah.
We should make an actual movie and use you guys as the actors, and it took a long time to get through the process, and, you know, SEALs are kind of secretive bunch, so, you know, it took a while for that to happen, but I think it was a success for what they did.
I think so, and I think, you know, besides the newfound, like, even like uber respect you have for the soldiers, afterwards, it makes you want to learn more about the movie, because it is such an interesting thing that they took these real guys that weren't actors. And I mean, the second I get home, I'm popping Google on, and I'm seeing like,
figuring out who these people are.
Who these people were, what the deal was, how they did it. I mean, it seems like there's such a great backstory to the filmmaking as well as the actual stuff.
Yeah. So Active Valor, I think it's out like today. So go see it.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around for all the lovely outtakes from this week's episodes. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Carbonite Backup. Protects your pictures and your other files from your computer crashes, fires, theft, or when you accidentally delete a file by automatically and continually backing up your files and keeping them securely off-site. You'll never have to remember to back up again. Whether you have 1 or 2 computers at your home or several computers at your small business, Carbonite is the better backup plan. With over 1 million customers trust Carbonite to back up their home and small businesses' computer files. With plans starting at just $59 a year. That's not a month, a year. You can actually start your free trial at carbonite.com with the offer code TRS, and you'll get a bonus 2 months if you decide to buy. That's carbonite.com, and the offer code for your 2 bonus months is TRS. Have a great weekend. I know we shall.
You know we shall.
All right, what's this guy's name? Chris Handsome Fun?
Handsome Fun.
Matt Hankerson.
That's better. Matt Hankerson. All right, here we go. Ready?
Son of Hanker, hang on. You know who his dad's called? The Handkerchief.
Ah.
She's a Hankerson.
Hankerson, the chief. Yeah, Chief Hankerson. She's the handkerchief. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
How's that? Better, Dan. Better, Dan.
Dan, you're a little far.
Yeah, I'm actually like leaning or something. It's like.
Well, there's a hole. Remember, there's a hole in the floor.
Oh, look, our jeans are so similar and shine.
Not really.
Yeah, there's like a dark and then a light.
Our jeans are so similar.
All right.
Oh.
Wow. Look how similar those are. Are you guys ready?
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Can't start the jams when you say you're ready.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, your Philadelphia 76ers.
And then Freddie.
Oh, what about, it could be, what's it about? Instead of, what is that?
Right.
What's it about? Hey, Mike, what's it about?
What's the plot? Plot.
Summary. What's it? What? Thesaurus for
Plot.
summary.
Plot. Hot plots.
What happens? What happens?
Showdown. Summary showdown. Plot showdown. Plot.
Well, we first initially thought it's going to
Plot
be a little
popper?
bit like
Plot
Name
pop?
That Tune.
Pop. Name
Well,
that.
it's not really because we stopped that. We had initially thought, what if we did it like I can name that story, name
What's
that
the
movie in
name?
this
We're trying
movie,
to
but we're not.
title. What's title? Title takedown.
Title take.
Title showdown.
Title pool.
Show showdown. The showdown hoedown.
The showdown hoedown.
The showdown.
You know what? That is iconic.
That's a
That's a dance party.
That's a whole week of us just doing a game show.
Title down. Take
show.
These are great. Hey.
Iconic. Iconic. These are great. Bam, bam, bam. Ah.
Bobble.
Bobble the ball. Sucker
Boom,
free.
shakalaka. You know.
Oh!